Amazon, what year are we on, Dave? 2022?
It is the tail end of 2022. I can't believe it.
Well, welcome to another show of What the Tech Live. We're coming to you on Cyber Monday to talk about all kinds of things, products that are very popular that you should be aware of, insights. We've been testing some products for the last 5 months. So there's stuff that nobody's talking about, some of these products, Dave, that we're going to talk about today. And also some dark horses. You know, there's some stuff that's flying under the radar that people haven't seen or heard of because they're newly launched or just not as popular, but definitely worth taking a look at.
Without a doubt, Rolando, Bluetooth headphones, headsets, speakerphones, cameras. Wow, thank God these devices were here when we needed them. You know, a couple of years ago, everybody got sent home. People are working virtually. I'll tell you, these tools have really changed people's lives.
Absolutely.
But you know what? They just continue to get better. We have some pretty cool story to talk about with Poly and one of their bestsellers. And like you said, we're also going to showcase some newer products from other manufacturers that perhaps the people haven't been exposed to out there. So this will be pretty good. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you today.
Me too. After several days off eating turkey and whatnot, we've got our TikTok audience watching. We've got a Facebook audience watching today. We're on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn. So if you've got your questions about the products that you're seeing today or other office technology, I really encourage you. We love questions. I love answering questions. So does Dave. So we've got some surprises in store for you. So feel free to pop in and drop your questions and we'll take them live. You know, Dave, we're celebrating our 20th year of being around, providing solutions to customers. And I just want to say to all the folks that help us on the Global Tech team, our catalog team, our media team, and everybody else who's contributing, that, we could not be here. I could not be here talking to you, Dave, and talking to our audience without the support, work, and dedication of everybody on Team Global Tech. So I want to give every one of those that are on Team Global Tech big props. Wait a minute. Let me see if I could get a clapper going. Yeah. So everybody on Team Global Tech, big props to everyone that's making this come true. And I'm looking forward to another 20 years.
Yeah, man, without a doubt. And actually just to read our quick sponsorship message, this live event, this is brought to you by Global Tech Worldwide, your technology experts providing trusted, personalized office IT solutions, like Rolando said, for over 20 years.
That's
long
right.
Time.
That's right. It's a long time. And, we've seen a lot of things change. Dave, in those 20 years, we couldn't do this where we're talking direct to customers. We're talking right into the camera and customers can interact with us live and literally around the world, right? Facebook is global. And LinkedIn is global. People can watch us live from around the world. Amazon is global. So we could talk direct to customers. So this is the kind of thing that was not imaginable for something on this scale, right? You had to be in the studio, get a live feed to push all around the world. Now they just go on the internet, log in.
So expensive.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, live video. I got my career. I started with a company that was called PictureTel back in 2001, and
right.
they were selling conferencing equipment, video conferencing equipment to large organizations, and the bandwidth needed. They were paying for these things called ISDN lines, and they would need 3 of them, and they were so expensive. And if they were lucky, they'd get 30 frames per second, but usually it was 15 frames per second and delayed audio and packets. And, and now the things that we were doing back in, just the turn of the century are now, we have these devices in our pockets. We have inexpensive bandwidth, and, people are getting 1080p. They're getting 60 frames per second. They're getting no delay with audio. It's just amazing.
What's amazing, Dave? The technology. Look, we're not going back.
No.
And life was different. January of 2020. And who knew what was going to come? in an office, out of office, hybrid. Those are terms that meant something completely. Out of office mean you were on vacation or you were on a trip somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Or you were going to see clients and you're not in. Now it's completely different. Hybrid means something different. So we're not going back. People are not going back. I've talked to so many people, influencers, business leaders. They say the same thing. HR people. Shout out to my friend Steve Cadigan from LinkedIn with the Future of Work, who always drops some knowledge around this. And he says, we're not going back. And all the Fortune 500 and companies around the world, they're also not going back. So because of that, Dave, hardware needs to be different. Software needs to be different. And the solutions deployed to make a business, an enterprise successful today are going to have to be different because the customer wants something different. They want a richer experience. The communications you need in order to be successful is not the same as it was January 2020, right?
That's right.
So we must adapt to those changing times. All right.
And for the folks that got sent home and were relying on just a hand receiver or relying on a built-in microphone and speaker on their computer, I think those people realized real fast they need to step up their game a little bit.
Of course they do. And that's why we're here today, Dave, helping you step up your game so you can sound and look better. Dave, before we get to the products, I just want to say, if you see any of the products today or others, we have an amazing site on Amazon, an amazing store. And the way to get there is amazon.com/tech. And tech is spelled differently, just like the company name, TECK. That's amazon.com/TECK.
And listen, if you go there, if you're seeing our stream, especially on Amazon, make sure that you click the video so that you're coming in and you can comment, you can chat, you can interact with us. So please, take a second, hit that, click on us on that screen and be a part of the show. We'll have some fun.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Ori, you're monitoring the Amazon feed so that we can get updates if somebody has a question on Amazon. Okay, gotcha. All right, perfect. Ooh, I got some of my tea. I'm ready. All right, Dave. I would be remiss if I did not thank another group of people, Dave, that have really been tremendous over the years, and especially over the last 24 months, as things have absolutely been off the chain crazy. And so I want to thank the folks, the team at Amazon that helped support us, and some specific people that I do want to give big props. I want to give big props to Lee in Austin. Lee, I see you, Lee. I know you're in Austin. I want to thank you for helping us with the work that you do on Amazon because it is very important. I see it. Thank you very much. I also want to give some big props to a few more folks that are on that Amazon team that work with us. Steven over at the B2B API stuff. You make sure that all of our stuff keeps running smoothly. There's all kinds of hiccups as you guys add a bunch of stuff, from time to time, but Steven, you make sure that we can get connected and get the folks the merchandise that they buy on Amazon for us. And I want to thank Ricky over at Transparency. Hey, Ricky, thank you for letting us know a bunch of stuff that's going to make the success of Amazon of Global Tech on Amazon even better. And Jake, you know who you are, Jake. I want to thank you too in advance for all the things that you've already done for us and will be doing. So I want to thank that whole team that works with us over at Amazon. So big props to the Amazon team. Woohoo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Big props to you guys. All right. So Dave.
Orlando.
What do we have in store here? So let's jump into the products that we're going to start off with today. What we're going to start off with is a product that is very popular, that a lot of folks have been just nonstop. They keep buying it. I'm surprised as how many folks, and that is the Poly 5200. So we're going to feature 4 products today on Cyber Monday. The Poly 5200. We're also going to talk about the Yealink A20 and A30 cameras. We're going to also talk about those dark horses, the ones that are flying under the radar. That would be the BH, which stands for Bluetooth headphones for Yealink. That's the 72 and the 76. There's a lot of stuff to show you around that. And I believe we also have a Poly product. That's the Poly 4300 series. All stuff that you're going to see what we're going to have in store for you. But first, Dave, let's get to the Poly 5200.
Listen, the 5200 series, what can I say about this product? The Poly 5200 UC. This is a behind the ear style Bluetooth headset, right, Rolando? It's for someone that, they don't want a big giant pair of headphones. They want the ability to kind of fly under the radar when they go and they're running an errand and they're out and they're doing their thing and they're in public or they're in their car. They don't want to miss any phone calls. They need great audio quality. They need superior noise cancellation. They need the flexibility of a product that connects to a cell phone when they're out and about, or that connects to their Zoom phone when they're back in the office, right? And this product,
absolutely,
it does it all.
No, go ahead, Dave.
I'm blown away by the amount of headsets that are flying off the shelves that are this particular model, the 5200 series.
And I've got two boxes here, Dave. And there's a reason why I have 2 boxes right here in front of me. Just recently, as far as just a couple weeks ago, Poly, which was formerly Plantronics and now is part of the HP family, that's Hewlett Packard, they have released a new version on the 5200, creating some fixes around some of the problems that they had on the 5200. A lot of good stuff, but they did fix some things, and that's why I've got these 2 boxes here so that folks can actually see what the new one looks like. I mean, from a box standpoint, they're in the same size, form factor is going to be the same, but there are some differences. The newer version, which is on my right here that I'm touching, this one right here, that one comes in now in a blue. And also you can see the logo is red, so you can see the Poly logo on it. This is the older version. I use this one, and I still have it. But the new one is in this new blue packaging. Yeah, I see. We've got a tabletop there, Ori. So that's what that looks like. You can see the Poly logo on there. All right, and it doesn't have the dongle on the front, and we're going to get into that. The old one it's black and white, and it just has the dongle on there and says Voyager 5200. This one just says 5200 UC, Voyager 5200C in small letters. Okay, and that's really the big difference from a packaging standpoint. But let me point out where the big difference is, and I think people are really going to appreciate that. So I'm going to open these 2 boxes up. Okay, so far you don't really see any huge differences there. Let me just separate those out. Over here, this is the new one. This is the old one. You can still see there in the package here. And
Rolando, I'm jealous. You have brand new headsets over there. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, we get all kinds of toys, and Poly's been doing a great job of sending us some toys. So you get in the box, you get the quick start guide that's there. Now, some not so obvious things. The form factor has stayed the same, Dave. Now, here's the nice improvement. In the older version, the dongle was tucked underneath this little area right down in here. Let me take this plastic off. The dongle was tucked underneath, and not everybody knew that was a dongle. We got questions from customers who wanted to know what's going on, where's the dongle, so it was tucked in underneath. In the new version, that problem's been solved. They made it very clear, very obvious where the dongle is located so that you don't have to go fishing around for it. And hopefully customers will be better served for that. So now the dongle in this new version of the 5200 is located right here where you can clearly see it.
Very good. Okay. Good job, Poly. Listen, we don't need to play hide and seek with the accessories. We want our customers to be able to open up the package and know right away that they have everything that they had paid for. So, it's those little
Absolutely.
tweaks, but that's smart of them to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. I anything that helps customers, I'm all for it. It's also on the new one. They did add a little sticker here. Let me remove the headset out of there. The sticker that you peel off. All right, and that now exposes the charging pins.
Yes, I see
that
that.
are right down here.
Mhm.
So that way it did not drain the battery during the shipment of it. And now those pins are exposed and you're good to go after you've removed that. Otherwise, if you don't remove this little sticker, it will not charge in the case. So a reminder. Okay, Dave, let me also point out another very obvious thing that they did. So inside, they updated the dongle. So now we've got the latest and greatest dongle from Plantronics, aka Poly. This is the older version. It said Plantronics right on it. Let me see if I can make it come into focus. There we go. There it is. All right, now the new one is this one. This is the BT700. Am I saying that right, Dave? The BT700?
I believe you are.
And it says Poly right on the dongle.
Now, Rolando, that one is a USB-A, correct?
Correct. This is a USB-A, but guess what, Dave? Ooh, look at this. I'm not playing a very good Vanna White here. Let me try that again. There we go.
All right.
So it's a USB-A dongle, but in the box, that was another improvement. They gave us, if I can find it. Yes, there it is. We've got a USB-C to USB-A adapter in the box.
Perfect. Nice.
So now if you have a USB-C PC, you don't have to worry about that anymore. This is included in the box. I'm just going to stick that in here like so. And now, voila, you've got yourself your USB Bluetooth dongle, the BT700, working on your USB-C PC or laptop. Awesome. Kudos. You know what, Dave? There aren't enough manufacturers doing that today when it comes to sending out all the accessories, when it comes to connectivity. There's still manufacturers that make you order that USB-C model separately. I think that they've done a heck of a job by making sure that the customer gets all these little things. These little things cause friction points, Dave. We talk to customers every single day, and they'll say, hey, I can't charge this because of X, or I don't have the charging case, or I can't connect it because I have a USB-C. Now I got to order more. They just want that one-stop shop. Give me everything I need. I don't want to be fishing around, clicking everywhere, and that kind of thing. This helps you do that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of a toss-up for manufacturers. They want to give the options to the customers to have USB-A or USB-C, and then they have to decide: do we create another SKU? Do we create 3 more SKUs? How confusing will that be for the buyer? Listen, if you're watching this today, you have any questions at all, interact with us, send us a comment, link subscribe, give us a call. We do live chat, whatever it is, get in touch with us. We have a team of people here, but the brands that we've decided to carry, we like their strategies. And when Poly here, they could have had two different SKUs, making it more confusing for the buyer, but they decided to make it easy, throw in that adapter, and you'll feel confident when you order it that it's going to work with your laptop today. But more importantly, if you upgrade down the road, you get some new hardware, because it has the adapter, it'll be future proof, so it'll work with whatever you have. Because a lot of the stuff, I'm seeing a lot of the newer laptops, they're trying really hard to go USB-C. They're trying to make USB-C be that standard.
No doubt, Dave. And that's why big props to Poly on this one. USB-C, USB-A, doesn't matter. It is going to be the land of the law in Europe. They've already decided that, and so has Apple has joined in. They fought it tooth and nail with their Lightning adapter, and so they are going to be joining the USB-C standard. So it's only a matter of time where every device that's electronic will be USB-C, because the EU basically decided that, and then it's just much easier to make one one type of adapter for the entire world than having to have a bunch of different adapters. As you can see on the screen, we were looking at the 5200 there. There's a couple other notable things here. Dave, you know what's interesting about the 5200? We have done multiple tests with the 5200, and this is the older version, against many other over-the-ear Bluetooth headsets, and I am still surprised to this date. And this is an invitation to any manufacturer wants to send us some demos to do a head-to-head against this particular Bluetooth headset, this style, to compete against the microphone that's on here. That to me is an amazing thing, Dave, that this little, and I'm going to just give you a little close up here, this little Bluetooth over-the-ear headset still performs better than some of the newer ones that have been released in the last year or so.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'll tell you, I think the form factor meaning behind the ear. So that's kind of what this is called, behind the ear style.
Mm-hmm.
There's copycat headsets out there that look like this on Amazon. They're probably half of the price. And listen, if it's not in your budget to step it up to a 5200 series, we understand that. But know this, wearing style is a very small piece of it. When Rolando was talking about the microphone, it's actually microphones. It's very true. A microphone array. You know, is it, how many microphones are there? You said four
are built into that boom there.
I was not a believer. I always thought this headset looked great, but you were sacrificing noise cancellation quality. And I'll tell you, I was proven wrong. We've done some, like Rolando said, we've done some tests on this, and it always impresses. It just does a really good job. And this is because that engineering, the engineering that Pauly has done with this microphone is second to none.
Right. And what I would also say to that, Dave, is that, you and I have been doing this for over 20 years, and I've seen a lot of product. I've seen a lot of different product. I had not used this product before, and we hadn't done the tests where the head to head. But I'm a believer now, especially like in the video here that you're seeing, that outdoor test. We've done several of these with a bunch of different headsets, and I was surprised at how well the microphone actually blocked out that road noise. And we did it with the AirPods. We did it with Blue Parrot, which is actually a really good microphone. We did it with some Sennheiser. We did it with several other headsets. And the noise canceling of the microphone seems to just kick in at the moment that you're talking. You may hear the wind blowing around you and all that other stuff, but when you're talking to somebody else, they're not here. They may get like 100 millisecond of that wind, and then boom, the noise canceling technology kicks in, blocks it out of the conversation.
And let's face it, if it wasn't blocking the wind out of that conversation, the conversation wouldn't be happening. The person on the other end would just be upset. They'd say, you know what? Call me when you're in your car. Call me when you're back in the office. Send me an invite. And they would just be unsatisfied with that interaction with you. Listen, if you're talking to your clients, doesn't matter where it is. If you need to answer your phone because your clients are number one to you, if you don't have a good noise canceling headset, you're risking your relationship with your client. It's a small investment. Find something. It doesn't have to be this one. This is a great recommendation, but find something that has good noise cancellation. If you want the ability to be mobile and working from anywhere, this is the tool that's going to help make you sound real professional, be real professional back with your clients, and be as responsive to them as they expect you to be. So you owe it to yourself to at least come listen to some of our demos that we've done here,
right?
And make the choice.
And you know what, Dave, with so many people right now making transitions out of different jobs, we would want to definitely encourage those that have the ability to get something like this and they want to do the side hustle. And the last thing you want to do, if you just, as a solopreneur, I was there when we started Global Tech. I started it in my kitchen. The last thing you want to do is sound less than what you want people to think you are. I don't know how many times I've been pitched things and, somebody will call me, or somebody trying to sell me something, and I could hear every noise in the car if they're in the car and they're trying to call me, or every noise in the room that they're in with other people. It's so distracting. It is. And it annoys, for me, I don't know if you like you did, it annoys me to no end when somebody calls me and I can't hear them very well, or I have to tell them, could you repeat that? And that's the same frustration a customer will experience when you call them on a speakerphone and just, hey, Rolando, how are you? Hey, Dave, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. I'm in town, and I'm going by talking to accounts that need additional pest control services at their store. If all I'm hearing is road noise, I say, I'm sorry. No, thank you. It just doesn't lend itself to a constructive, meaningful conversation. And I'm sure that everybody that's had a phone call at late at night or during dinner can hear that, but you don't have to put up with that. That's the thing. You don't have to put up with it. Technology advanced so much, Dave, that no matter if you're sitting on your computer and using a computer headset, or using a Bluetooth headset like this one, or something in between, there's stuff that can make your conversation sound like you're the only one in the room.
Very, very good, Rolando. Listen, I gotta tell you, we've been in the headset game for quite a long time. I remember I would get I used to answer my phone, my landline telephone. It used to ring. People used to call it. But anytime I would get some sort of telemarketer, and I won't hang right up in your face, you might be from a charitable organization that I believe in and I want to donate to.
Right.
But when I would get phone calls, always at dinner time, of course, and I would hear a poor microphone or a bad audio experience, or if I heard everyone in the background, first I'm upset at their pitch, because no one is as good as this of a cold caller. No one is as good of a salesperson as myself. So first I'm totally judging them on their pitch, but then I'd want to try to help them, and I'd be like, what call center are you calling from? And my family would look at me like, hey, Dad, it's 6 o'clock. Why are you trying to sell their call center? Like, because I know there's something better. And I would ask them what they're using, and it would always just be something that you knew was a $10 or $20 solution.
A throwaway headset.
The experience.
Yeah.
Right. That was the experience. But, just a nice point here. This headset, tell me about the warranty, because I think when people think Bluetooth headphones, they're not thinking warranty. But this industry, it's a business to business industry. They have warranty. They make it super
global
easy.
warranty at that.
How do they, tell me about that.
So it's I believe it's a 2-year warranty, right? The last time I checked on the Poly products, and it's a global warranty. So you're covered wherever you are with their products, which is another friction point for a lot of folks. The other thing about when you talk about warranty, Dave, you're talking about service and how you, what you can do with your device. And that's one of the things that I really like. And you know what, Dave, you're actually teeing up where we're going into next, which is our heroes and kryptonite features, because I want to highlight this on our heroes segment. Hey, Ori, do we have a banner or something for that, or how are we going to that? There we go. Awesome. Let me move these guys in here so you get a nice, good view of what's going on. Let me get the old one out of here. All right, old one. Thank you. You've been very helpful, oldie 5200.
It wouldn't be a superhero without tights.
Yeah, you like that? Look at him right there. Look at him right over there. That superhero. So as we were saying, the superpowers and the reason here, let me move into proper frame here. The reason why you want to use the 5200 is that it has noise canceling capabilities. And with the noise canceling, you can go outside with confidence. That I can't say that for a lot of product. I got to tell you, use the AirPods. Great for music. Absolutely awesome for music. Absolutely horrible for customer experience for when you're talking to somebody. They can hear everything and all the things around you. Not recommend. So noise canceling is a super power that it has. Number 2 on the list is multi-point. With that multi-point, what that means is you can take that dongle out of there and use it. Oh, there we go. We got tabletop. Use that dongle along with the 5200, and now you have a very powerful Bluetooth headset that you can use with your computer. Why is that important? A lot of folks, Dave, ask us, do I need the dongle? And what's the answer to that, Dave?
The answer is always use the USB dongle on a laptop or a PC if you're looking for optimal audio quality. Yes, your laptop probably has Bluetooth capabilities built in. We know that. We know it does. But listen, a lot of times that Bluetooth, while it works great for wireless printers or mice or keyboards, it may not do a great job with the audio.
That's right.
The audio algorithms. It's all about the audio algorithms and the different standards that are in place that are built in. So when you have the dongle and the headset together, they're talking the same languages, not just language. It's utilizing a ton of different standards in there. So don't leave it to chance that the Bluetooth in your laptop is good enough. If somebody says, hey, it works great for me, okay, I believe you. But your laptop is not the same as everybody else's.
Right.
The dongle is an easy part to the best solution out there. Don't rely on that Bluetooth that you already have in your laptop. Chances are you're going to get a much better experience if you're using the Bluetooth dongle.
Absolutely. Dave, there was something for all the nerds out there, just to put a little pin on this.
Who are you calling a nerd?
Hey, listen. The Intel Corporation created a white paper that's about 70 pages long. I read it. It's a very engineering, nerdy paper.
He's the nerd. All right. He was calling himself a nerd. All right.
It basically said any laptop or PC that uses USB 3.0 is going to have issues with Bluetooth. So, and it doesn't matter if you use a headset, if it's like my Bluetooth keyboard, a Bluetooth mouse, Bluetooth headphones. USB 3.0 has interference problem for unshielded ports. Translation: expect to have problems with Bluetooth when you're using a computer. Point blank. Expect that. Now, and here's the thing, there is no rule that says, well, if it uses Bluetooth 5.0 versus 4 versus, there is no rule anywhere, not even in this report, that says if it's 5.0 Bluetooth and above, you're going to get great audio. Nope, that doesn't exist. It does say that a lot of devices like Bluetooth, like this one, like my keyboard, and others, if you're all connected, you're going to have problems with Bluetooth because the PC, so if you're using a PC again, it creates a signal that's in that Bluetooth spectrum, and that USB 3.0 port will cause interference. Who was the genius that came up with that? I don't know. But furthermore, there are going to be billions more devices, Dave, next year on the market, billions with a B, that are going to be both in the workplace and in the home that are smart, so-called smart technologies that have Bluetooth chips in them, and those will complicate the matters even further. So we have a solution for some of that. That's called a Blue Beacon range extender that can help. I've got one here. You can't see it off to the side, but that helps mitigate some of those problems. Basically, it helps separate the distance between the USB port and your dongle, right? But Bluetooth problems, expect that to get, I hate to get bad news. It's going to get worse. So expect that. But there's some things to remedy that. There's a couple of little tweaks you can do with some headsets, with some products, to shorten the range, and a couple of other things. We've got some videos around that. So if you want to go to our YouTube page, we've got several videos on how to remedy some of these Bluetooth problems, even though they do exist today. So getting back to our heroes, superpowers, Dave, right? Can we get there we go. We've got free upgrades on this bad boy. So on this 5200, one of the things, as I was saying, with Bluetooth and different systems that people use like Zoom and Teams and Avaya and Cisco, they all, and even the operating systems inside of Windows from 10 to 11 and maybe Windows 15, iOS 27, whenever that comes out, all of these improvements create little bugs. Always you can count on some bugs somewhere. And sometimes what happens is these bugs will make the performance of the product you're using, in this case, the headset, the Bluetooth headset, not perform right. So what happens with Poly, Jabra, EPOS, and Yealink, these 4 manufacturers, they will give you software to get around all that, and they will upgrade you at no cost. In the case of Poly and the 5200, what you want to use is the PLT or Plantronics Hub app on your mobile device. If you want to use it on your PC, it's called the Poly Lens, Poly Lens app, and it can help you customize the device. It'll help you. It will help you also create a better experience. It will help you update the device if it needs updating. So the Poly Lens app on the PC and the Plantronics Hub on the mobile side. The other thing that it will also do is update the dongle, because a lot of times these dongles do need updates if there is an update on the PC side or the Mac OS side, and that way that you will avoid some issues. So free upgrades, love it, Dave. Free, you can't
free
go wrong
upgrades.
with the word free.
It was, you know what, Milando, that's a pro tip. That's
do we have pro tip available, Ori?
Get ready for a pro tip.
Pro tip numero uno for today: when you have your dongle or your Bluetooth device and you want to clear out some of the bugs, and on the 5200 by Plantronics, go ahead and download the Plantronics Hub app or the Poly Lens app to your PC or Mac. That way you can stay frustration free and continue to use your product without any headaches. So
listen, you know what, Rolando, if someone's using this headset and it's having some issues, it's not operating the way that they think it should, Poly has a fantastic support team. These are in-house technicians. They can help do troubleshooting for you. Same thing with my team. They can help do some troubleshooting. The first thing what we are going to ask you is, is it updated? Is it up to date? So before you call us or Poly, or before you do any troubleshooting on your own, just make sure you have the headset and the dongle updated. You might find that it would avoid the need for a telephone call. So make sure that you have that updated first. And then if it's still not doing what you think it should be doing, give us a call and we'll get you where you need to be.
Hey, Dave, you brought up something interesting, something new that we just launched on Amazon. We have a way for anybody. So if you bought this product on Amazon or thinking about buying products from us on Amazon, this is something that, I want to give credit to the Amazon team for bringing to our attention and getting it on our account, which is we can help you right now with product support. In the past, you had to go through the Amazon support system, and maybe you got somebody that knew what you're talking about, maybe not, but now it's as easy as when you go into your Amazon app or on your PC, there's a button that says Get Product Support. Big yellow button that says Get Product Support. And what it does, it brings you right over. And let me see if I could share screen. Let me see if I could share screen. For those that want to know exactly what that looks like, David, let me know if you could see that. Yeah, there we go. And maybe I should just make it a little bigger. Whoa. Okay, so what you're seeing is the button. After I hit the Get Product Support, it's going to have our phone number on there. It's going to have a dedicated landing page for our Amazon customers where you can go in, you can request support from our IT tech team, from our team of wonderful people that work with Dave on the customer support side to answer your questions, so that you can very easily go ahead and get your questions answered. I know for me, and also for customers, that sometimes they may get something, it's not the right thing, or maybe they're not exactly sure how to get something set up, or a bug comes up when you're trying to get something going. you can now very easily within the Amazon app connect with us, ask your questions live. By the way, we have live support during our business hours, which is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Or you could submit a ticket if it's after hours, and one of our team members will take that ticket and then they'll take care of it the following business day for you and get in touch with you. But Dave, this is now a much easier way for customers without fishing around. Before you had to go through all kinds of menus and to
those
get
menus.
to us.
Yeah, the menu hunting. That's
Yes.
by design. If you can't find somebody's phone number quickly, what kind of confidence do you have buying from that seller? You know what? Find a seller that knows what they're selling and that they're not just listing pictures and SKUs for a price out there that you may or may not get it, and they have bad ratings and they don't know how to set it up. Listen, what do we say? We're in a niche marketplace. You know, we have select brands that we sell. These are the types of companies that you want to look for, folks that are selling something very specific. They're honed in on their market. They love their customers. They're not trying to hide behind an email only or fake company names or whatever it is. You know what? If a customer service and tech team is hiding, I would find one who aren't. Find a seller that isn't, and that's
Absolutely,
us.
Dave. No doubt. Hey, Dave, before we keep going with the superheroes, I want to remind you, if this content has been helpful, go ahead and smash and bump the like buttons and follow us on your favorite platform. Dave, there we go.
What's our favorite platform?
Ooh,
Are we on TikTok? Are we on TikTok live right now too?
I'm on TikTok live, so I'm talking to people over here in this other camera that we've got set up right now.
Awesome. What's up, TikTok fam?
Hey, TikTok fam, thank you for watching us today. And for all the other platforms, Dave, Amazon, the Amazon Live platform, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Awesome. Let's continue with the heroes.
Yes.
So on the heroes, let's see. We got the likes, so everybody can subscribe and like it whenever they find this content meaningful, and hopefully that's now. All right. So as Dave, as Ori gets it, there we go with our superhero. And do we have a name for the superhero, by the way? Right?
No
name. He's a no name superhero. No, I'll let you think about it while I keep going on about the superhero. So the other thing that is a superpower on this device is that it comes with built-in sensors. Now, this is really cool, Dave. I absolutely love this about this. So if I take the headset off and I put it back down, let's say I'm listening to something or whatever, it'll put it into standby mode and it'll intelligently, go to sleep. If I get a call and I pick it up and put it on my head, it knows that I am picking it up. It will answer the call.
Oh, answer it. That's great.
It can answer the call. So it knows when it's going down, when it's going up. And so all of this is also configurable on the Plantronics Hub app that goes for the mobile. So whether you're using Android or iOS or Apple, you can use your Voyager 5200 in a smarter way. And again, we have a whole video that we created on how to optimize usage of that on our YouTube page. It's called Optimizing the Plantronics 5200. So I love the sensors. They do all kinds of cool things, makes it smarter, makes it easier to use. The other thing, Dave, I think we alluded to this form factor, this type of design. There we go. We're in the tabletop. Okay. It's very comfortable. And over the years, Dave, I have used so many headsets that are around the ear and didn't like one of them. Not one.
Yeah.
And this design, they hit it on the mark because the molding on the plastics is very comfortable. It bends, right? It breathes, so it bends. It can sit around the ear very comfortably, whereas a lot of stuff did not sit comfortably, or it would not fit. It would not fit at all. So It would flop off my ear. I'd walk around and then just kind of it'd be dangling all over the place. This did not do that. And it's the only one so far. There's another one. We can't talk about that one yet because it's not available for public release. That may give it a run for its money, but stay tuned for more information on that. But so far as all the major brands out there that make one like this, that goes around the ear, this is by far the most comfortable. So for me, comfort alone would be the reason I would buy this product. All right. Next superhero power, Ori, plays well with business apps. So it plays nice. You have Teams, it works with Teams. And it'll work with Teams on your mobile. It'll work with Teams on your PC. But more importantly, what you should know with Teams and Zoom and all these apps is that when you use it with the dongle, this is again why we want to advocate the usage of the dongle with these devices like the Voyager 5200, is that when you use the dongle and you're using Zoom, you can hit the mute button right from the headset. It's got a mute button right on there. This red one, that little red button, that's the mute button. When you push that, it shows you on screen that you've been muted, Dave. How many times have you been in a meeting for the last 2 years when people that were never on Zoom, all of a sudden, you're on mute, you're on mute, you're on mute, right? And scrambling everywhere to unmute. Where is it? Where is it? I can't find it. That problem's over with this device. Just
and you need
it.
To be able to access that mute button. You know, we had talked about this as a pro tip, you know, many episodes ago on What the Tech. You need to be able to quickly mute your conversation or unmute. You know what? If your superior or one of your teammates is interacting with you during a meeting and there's 5 people on the call and they're asking you a specific question and you've been paying attention because that's an important call, but you go to give your reply, you're on mute. There's people that are like, hey, is so-and-so paying attention? Oh yeah, no, I am. I'm paying attention. And then you're apologizing and then finally you can get into it. But I'll tell you, when you can quickly mute and unmute yourself, you're never going to be that person that seems like they're not paying attention in the call. And you won't be mistakenly allowing some embarrassing background noise to jump into the conversation either. So I love that some of the partners that you just mentioned are aligned with Poly so that they have that integration with their application and this hardware. You hit the button, you're on mute. And if you were to look at your interface, you see that you're on mute. So there's no guessing games there.
I like that. Ori, let's go to another pro tip.
Here comes a pro tip.
Pro tip numero dos.
Don't.
If you want to reduce the frustration when you're on Zoom or Teams or any of these other business apps so that you never get caught with you're on mute and you're looking for everywhere, make sure you use that dongle with your Bluetooth device, because with that, you'll be able to mute and unmute right from the headset by a press of a button. And not only that, but you can actually see it. So when you mute, it shows you mute. And on the Plantronics 5200, it will tell you muted, unmuted as well. So you have a couple of different ways to know you're muted and you're unmuting. You can look on the screen, shows you you're muted. The Bluetooth headset will tell you muted as well as unmuted. So that way you always know what's going on and you can easily and quickly do that right from a press of a button. No need to fish around for your mouse and then hunting for that mute or pressing it on the keyboard. So I love that about these type of devices, Dave, especially the 5200, the Voyager 5200 by Poly. Just boop, mute and unmute, and you never have to guess.
And hey, if you're interacting with us live, if you have had any embarrassing moments on a video conference or an audio meeting, let us know exactly what it was, and we'll enter you in for a drawing of a 5200 with a mute button.
Absolutely. I like that, Dave. Thinking on your feet. Love it. So let's go to the kryptonite, because there is no product on earth that does everything, right? Ooh, who's our villain here? Here's our villain. What do we have a name for this villain? No? He's the no-name villain. Headset gremlin.
The headset
Grouch.
gremlin.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, you Kryptonite, you gremlin. You pop up your ugly rear. You rear your ugly head when it comes to devices. It doesn't matter which one it is. So we got to call you out, right? Now, I love this device. As I said, it's a great device. It's a go-to Bluetooth device. One of the things that can be better, especially if you are on the road a lot, is the talk time. The maximum talk time is 6 hours. Now, if you use it in wideband mode, which is fantastic, you hear much richer, the audio is better on wideband mode, it does eat up more battery power. So that's the one thing I don't really love about that. But you do have your handy, if you get the 5200 UC version, it comes with this charging case. So it'll go ahead and give you another 6 more hours, right, of full battery on this guy.
I think it will give you two full
more
additional charges.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for that correction. So you can get up to theoretically 18 hours when you're using it in narrow band mode. If you're using it in wideband mode, I believe it's going to be about 4 hours a piece. So you get 12 hours in wideband mode total when you're using the charging case, right? And they did, by the way. So that's the one thing. I'm hoping at some point they come out with a 5300 version, and the talk time itself on the battery is 10 hours or more, especially for those people that like to travel and drive for a living. It will do that. And I've used it traveling to airports and whatnot, and also driving when I'm out and about. Just the headset I use when I'm driving. But yes, a little bit better talk time. The other thing, which is part of the not really talk time, but the charging issue, and why they came out with the new version, is that there was a charging issue when you put this into the dock or the charging case. It didn't always consistently charge the device. So up until a few weeks ago, so this product's been out for years, up until a few weeks ago, some customers experience charging issues when you put that into the charger. That problem's been fixed on the new version. So you'll get a consistent charge every single time. Okay. So thank you for fixing that. I wish it had done that a few years ago. So, Dave, you and I have talked about this with some of the customers that I have a bunch of these laying around because we do tests with them. None of them had that problem, but other customers were calling and saying, yeah, this is, and then we got more and more and more and more. And then, Poly ended up now fixing the problem. And I think that kryptonite is gone, but it was on there when we wrote it up.
But I need to say that a brand like Poly, which is now part of HP, they're not manufacturing a product, building as many as they can, and then leaving it alone. They manufacture these. They continue to just find improvements. They don't want to ignore any issues. This is the kind of attention that the automobile industry, if they notice that there's a defect, they go out, they communicate it, they fix it so that it's not a weak point moving on, through the different generations of that. This product is darn near perfect, Rolando. And I wouldn't be surprised with some tweaks to that battery. It might be able to be done with just firmware updates. We know that battery technology is getting better in other industries, and I'm sure it's going to lend itself to personal electronics. And being the commercial solutions, Poly's not looking for the cheapest batteries. They're not finding the cheapest components so they can just make something and put it out there. They go way beyond that. These things are engineered to just be just fantastic, type solutions. And I think the battery problem, I'm sure will be improved. The design is, they made those little tiny tweaks. I think it will continue to be a winner for years and years to come. So much so that other brands are stepping into the ring. We won't say much about it, but we'll see what happens.
We can't say much about that one right now. But there are some imitators that we know that aren't as good and are cheaper. And that brings us to the next point, Dave. So thanks for teeing that up. The price. Look here, Kryptonite man. You got to do something about that. Now, we'll talk about the price. We said this is not the cheapest Bluetooth headset you're going to find in this form factor. It is not. But you're going to get something worthy of the price. So every manufacturer has their own algorithm, so to speak, that will determine the price on a particular product. It's towards the premium side. Now, what they have done in order to kind of shave the price down, Dave, they will sell it just as is. And that's the Plantronics 5200 without the UC. And that's about half the price. Now, when you buy the UC model, you're going to get it with the whole shebang, charging case, dongle, all the other accessories. But for about half the price, you get just this guy and a cable so that you can charge it, which, by the way, Ori, give me a pro tip, and on the other side, jump over to the tabletop.
Get ready for a pro tip.
Pro tip número 3. Okay, so if you get your 5200 without the charging case, you can still charge it with a USB cable. And folks don't know about this because it's so well covered. Now, on the bottom, there we go. On the bottom of this guy, there we go. Thank you, Ori. On the bottom, you have this. Let me show you what that looks like, so you know where to find it. On the bottom, you have this little plug. Okay, and it just covers this USB port, and this USB port allows you to charge it. So if you get the 5200 without the charging case, you can still charge it with a simple, and it's not a USB-C, it's using the mini USB, like the old Android style. So just know that this is not a USB-C. It's a mini USB adapter. So you can see that. All right. So you can charge it. But if you get the 5200, you get the case to charge it. And you can also charge it, like Dave was saying earlier, by simply sticking this bad boy right into the charging case. And now you will get some lights. Let's see if it'll come on. I haven't charged this one in a while. You see it's kind of a LED indicator there.
That's nice. Yeah, we can see that.
All right. And they mean all kinds of different things. And now you could take this bad boy with you, stick it in your pocket. It's a hard case, by the way. So you can hear that. So it's not going to break, which is the other things. There's other really soft carrying cases. Plantronics decided to make something, I'm not going to call it ruggedized because that's a whole different monster, but it's certainly going to hold up if you throw it in your go bag, in your travel bag, in your briefcase, in your backpack, in the car. It'll hold, and it will hold your device in a secure and safe place.
I love having products that have self-charging shells like that. You're confident. You know what? You were on a phone call right before you flew, right before your airplane took off. You told your loved one, you told someone that was picking you up at the airport, I will call you when I land. I'll call you when I land. I got you. And
Absolutely.
The headset, and then the headset, you throw it in the case, you fly, you get to where you're going. Even if you left it on, it's still going to have battery to it because it's been sitting in that self-charging case. Such a nice piece for sure.
I know. Like it. It's one of my favorite. And as Dave said, we'll give one away for the most frustrating story when you're on mute. So if you're listening, should we play a little word game here, Ori, on that? Like we did, or do we have that cute? Oh no, if we don't worry.
Ricky M sent us a message. All right.
Yeah, what is he saying? Ricky, that's from the Amazon side. What does the Ricky M say? Dave, did you see that, or is that Ori that saw that?
Ori saw that. He said that Ricky is using his 5200 earpiece right now, listening to the stream.
Big props to Ricky M from Amazon. I forgot what Ricky. Where are you on the? I think you're on the West Coast. I want to say, Arizona. I think he's out of the Arizona office. I could be wrong.
Was this a staged comment?
I don't know. I didn't plan it with him. But if he says he uses it, great, awesome, love it.
Ricky, thanks for following, buddy.
I could tell you this much. I did have a conversation with him maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and he uses a black wire because Amazon issues to their employees when they come in, I guess maybe like a little bag of stuff, and in that bag of stuff they have a Plantronics black wire headset for the computer. So they work from home, they have a black wire that they use with that. So and it does, the black wires do work really well, and for the price they get a lot of bang for the buck. So props to Ricky M, I think out of the Arizona office, or maybe he's working remote. All right, a reminder, go ahead and like and follow us as we go into this next segment, which has to do with Yealink cameras. This is something that Dave, the webcam that were available in January 2020 are not like what you can get today. What you can also get for your room, your conference room, your huddle rooms, your small spaces is not what we have available today. Is totally not what it was available. The needs are different. And so we've got many more options today. And Yealink is killing it right now when it comes to the video bar. So one of the big complaints, Dave, that and you've talked to a lot of folks on the video side, it's hard to set up. You can't, all this, you need an IT guy to manage it and all this other stuff. Those days are over because of the fact that there's so many more people using it, and there aren't enough IT guys to go around at some of these facilities. And so something sets up, and thank you for putting that on, or something that sets up very easily, and they use you can use a panel with it. Now this does come in two versions. Essentially, it comes in at A30, which is what you're seeing there. It's got dual cameras. It's got some upgraded features over the 820. It's got built-in cameras. Two built-in cameras as well as audio built in. And with the new technology built into the Yealink cameras, it has some AI features to filter out these annoying noises that, just again, we're talking about noises that create disruption, that create that anxiety, that create frustration. And imagine, Dave, you're sitting in a huddle room or in your office, and you're pitching a client. You want your pitch to be the best possible pitch, but you don't want Susie's chair moving around or the typing somebody's doing to take notes to get in the way of that pitch, right?
Absolutely.
This technology helps filter out some of these distracting things that are just common in every single conference room. The chair moving back and forth, the tic-tac typing, right? Maybe somebody coughing in the background. No need for any of that on your next conference call or your next Zoom meeting or your next Teams meeting. The Yealink A20 and A30 are both certified for Zoom and Teams. What that means is that on the Zoom side, you're going to have complete integration. And if you get a touch screen with the control panel, you can very easily put things on the screen. You can share, you can collaborate, and have the world-class audio that Yealink is known for. Now, Dave, not a lot of people know about Yealink, primarily because they've been mostly selling phones for the last several years, 6, 8, I don't know, maybe 10 years. They've been selling phones. And if you are in the phone business, you're in the telecom business, you've heard of Yealink, and you know them from their phones, and they make really good quality, outstanding audio, very well priced phones. they weren't known for this other technology. And with the pandemic, they started actually shifting before the pandemic to try to get stuff for collaboration, try to get headsets out. And once January 2020 came around, March 2020, they accelerated some of those plans and started releasing some of these products onto the market, like headsets, like web cameras and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they moved into this business after a lot of analysis within the headset market, right? So they looked at some of the leaders that we sell, EPOS, Poly, Jabra, just to name a few. And they said, listen, we can do it better than them. And that's great. You know what? I love competition. I love competition. It only spurs better technology, innovation. And these guys are doing it right, and we sell quite a few of these.
Yeah, we do.
Tell us
I'm
they
surprised.
love the design. It's all right there. It's relatively easy to understand and use and interact with. And I'll tell you, it doesn't take up a lot of space. Systems that were this powerful 10, 20 years ago, like Rolando was mentioning, there'd be a codec racked up in a closet somewhere.
These stuff would easily $40,000 or $50,000 to get a web conference camera on in a boardroom, right? Or in a
these are
conference
not webcams. This is not a webcam. This is an independent. I mean, it has its own operating system. You don't need to have your laptop. This isn't just something you go and you plug your laptop into. This is a self-isolated operating system on its own.
Right. It doesn't require a laptop. So some systems that are just USB will require the laptop, but it's got its own console so that you can manage and run it. And that's important. And on this particular, on both the 20 and the 30, you get 4K capability. So you're going to get very good, crisp images versus 720 or even 480. If you're using a laptop, some laptops use 480. Even some of the newer Macs, Dave, I can't believe in today's world, Macs still use 720 as a standard for video. So if you go from your folks, really, because this is really, we're talking to IT administrators and managers, you want to upgrade that capability of how your folks look when they're presenting to your clients. Get rid of using the Macs or the Lenovo's or their 720 as well. They don't present your folks in the best possible image. And you want to put your best foot forward, because things are ultra competitive, Dave. Things are getting more and more competitive in this landscape. In today's landscape, the competition is fierce for customers and for sales. And given the way the economy has been behaving the last couple of months and possibly for the several more months afterwards, it's only going to get more competitive as budgets gets more constrained.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think about the future of work and, things that are happening in the marketplace where people are trying to find happiness within their job, and people are moving away from this work-life balance to talking about work-life blend. So what you have are people that are in the workforce that are looking for new organizations to work with, companies that have considered the future of work beyond just letting people work remotely. They might, like we did a podcast just last week when we were talking about international business, working internationally. But I guess the reason why I'm saying that is this: if you're an organization and you've invested in some nice quality IT solutions like the A20 or the A30, chances are you'll be using these tools to do virtual interviews. So you're trying to recruit the best, right? So you need to present yourself as the best. If I'm interviewing for you and you have great equipment, it shows. If you have great audio, it shows. We can collaborate on a quick document, it shows. But if you're a job seeker and you're connecting with an organization that just has old, outdated equipment, bad audio, bad video, that's a bad vibe. If you want to recruit,
stop doing that.
Stop doing that. all jokes aside, stop doing that because you want to put your best foot forward. It's an aggressive. What am I looking for? It's not to recruit the best. You really need to put your best foot forward, and you're conducting these video interviews. You don't want to do the up the nose shot. You don't want to use that 780p camera that's built into your laptop that Rolando is talking about. It's devices like this, minimal investment, and
maximum return. Minimum
Maximum
investment,
return.
maximum return. Right?
I sound like a QVC salesperson.
But that's so true, Dave. It's important. The last thing you want to do if you're a brand, whether you're small and you're smaller with a few folks in the office, or you're large, you want your brand to show the best possible way. And that's what's happening now. These devices were pretty much only available in large conference rooms, and you had to plunk down 50 grand, 80 grand, 90, 100 more. I've heard you say that 100 to put this together. For around 2 to 3K, you have a solution that the big boys only had in their conference room. Those days are over. You can make your brand shine for a lot less and even better technology that was available 10 years ago. So let's jump right into. Go ahead.
You're gonna need to buy more than just a ping pong table and a foosball table for your break room in order to recruit the best. So consider that.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the heroes on here. The superpowers for this hero. All right. Zoom and Teams certification make your life easier, especially if you're an IT administrator, anybody involved with the deployment of technology. You want to have something that's Teams and Zoom certified. Both the A20 and the A30 have versions of that. So if you're a Zoom shop, you get something that integrates with Zoom Rooms. If you're a Teams shop, you get something that integrates with Microsoft Teams Rooms. Now, the one thing, we'll get that in the later. Oh, so yes, the Zoom certification and Teams certification means it's A-OK and kosher by both the Zoom gods as well as the Teams gods, right? And they'll be happy. You'll be happier, as well as the users using it and the experience they have around it will also be happier. The number 2 thing here is AI with voice processing. This is something that not all systems have. So not all cameras that go in a huddle room or go in a conference room are created equal. With the AI voice processing, you make that experience better for the people listening to the users that are in that room. So that they're heard clearly. The noise, the maybe shuffling of paper, chairs going back, squeaky chairs that somebody's rolling back and forth. A lot of times folks don't have carpet in their boardrooms. They may have beautiful floors that are polished marble or something like that. The wheels sometimes create noisy, squeaky. This gets rid of that. The typing of the keyboard, people taking notes or in the present, takes care of all of that so that they sound awesome. Número 3 on this superpowers list, it's speaker tracking, Dave. So if you've got folks, several in a room, they're sitting around a table, 4 or 5 of them, this will recognize who is the active speaker, and it will frame them with automatic focus, which is awesome. So instead of just having, like for me right now, it doesn't matter if I'm on my left, I'm on my right. This camera can't tell the difference. It has a little bit of framing. If I move back, if I move forward, it keeps me in focus. But if I had another person over here sitting next to me, it doesn't have that intelligence to say, okay, you're the active speaker. I need to focus on you and your words. This can do that. So if you have 4 or 5 people in a room, it will do that. So speaker tracking, love it. That goes with the auto framing that I talked about, so that you're framed and you look great instead of out of focus and grainy. Last thing, price. Dave, like we talked about, IT budgets are constrained right now. People are counting pennies in budgets and justifying every single dollar. It is priced very well, so it's very budget friendly from an IT perspective. It's not going to break the bank. It's going to give a lot of return on investment. You know, I hear this all the time from IT managers, Dave. They have to justify their existence. They have to justify why we need to invest in X, whether it's more laptops or newer ones, you know, conference room equipment, you know, new headsets. They all have to justify that existence. I think the picture is very clear on why organizations would want to gravitate towards this particular type of product.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, you were talking about saving on expenses. We've been in, Rolando, you and I have seen some pretty awesome in-room setups, recessed lighting, recessed microphones. Again, some, you know, a fancy codec in a closet and all this stuff. Not always user-friendly, very expensive. And this is a fraction of that cost. Embedded microphones, embedded AI, embedded cameras, all of that processing is happening internally. Again, much a far lower cost to get into, you know, something that's professional. And I'll tell you, you mentioned it earlier for kind of one of the superhero pieces to this. When you have the relationships between Poly and Zoom and Poly and Teams, you know, those engineers, they're working together to make sure that this product is optimal when used with those solutions. So feel confident, you know, feel confident. It's not just a sticker. It makes the product better when the engineers for both organizations are working together.
Indeed. Indeed. Have full confidence in it. Dave, was there anything else you wanted to say about this particular product before we wrapped on this one?
You know what? The kryptonites, Rolando. What are the kryptonites on this product?
You know, it was hard. I had to really dig in, but there's one. And for folks, and let me put this into the right context. If you are a novice and have not used Microsoft Teams Room and have gone through the process of knowing how to get things set up with Microsoft Teams Room, then something like this, and it's not necessarily just this device, but almost all devices, because it requires you to go in as an admin, go into the admin center, set that up, all that good stuff. Once you know how to do that, this is a lot easier for you. But if you're a novice, a beginner in setting things up on the Teams side of things, then that's where it could trip you up, because you can be unfamiliar with the process of adding devices via Microsoft Teams using the admin center on Microsoft Teams. So that's the kryptonite that I found when working with these kinds of devices that are integrated into Microsoft Teams Room. And it's not just this one, but you know, I could point out 4 or 5 others. So that's the one thing that may trip you up if you're not an IT administrator and not familiar with how to add stuff to Microsoft Teams Room. Right? So that's the
kryptonite. Had to find something. He had to find something, folks.
I did. I really had to dig on it. And I thought, that's something that could trip some people, especially if they're at the starting line, so to speak, when it comes to these devices. All right. You know what I want to do, Ori? I want to do something a little different. I want to switch things up. I know we had rapid fire at the end. I want to start on the rapid fire. I want to go the 5200 rapid fire. Can we go that? Cue it up for the 3-minute rapid fire. All right, Mr. Rapid Fire. Let me see. Well, I know we have questions. Let me see. Let me go to that. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Ooh, there we go. Rapid fire. All right. I got the questions here. Let me see. I'm on the right tab. There we are.
I feel like we're playing a board game. Did you get roped into any board games this weekend?
Sort of. Played bingo with my little one. It's like a picture bingo kind of thing. So
you had to lose that one.
Actually, he was really good. So he won one round and I won another round.
And how did he feel when you won one of those games?
We wanted to play another round for a tiebreaker, but it got late, so we had to save round 3 for another day.
You know, Thanksgiving obviously brought family together, and my 24-year-old stepson, we were joking about some of the board games that we used to play with him as a kid.
Mhm.
One was called Penguin Pat. And for parents out there, Penguin Pat, so fun. Like, we almost went and dug it up and played it. But my stepson was such a poor loser. You couldn't win. And this game was not a game of skill. So you would just win. And he would cry. And lots of funny laughs about that. So anyway, if your son or daughter are good losers for board games, I think that says a lot about their character. So good for you. If your son or daughter can take a loss to a game, that's an important thing, in my opinion.
You know, my little one, he says somebody's got to win. So I tell him yes, but we do it tomorrow.
Somebody's got to win.
Somebody's got to win. Who's going to win? He's competitive. You know, I'm surprised how competitive he is at such a early age.
I'm not surprised at all. That's your son. Yeah, I'm not shocked.
You're not shocked? I am shocked. I don't drill it into his head. He's got to win. He just kind of, maybe he's picking up on language that I'm using about winning. Yes, I want to win. I want to win. Absolutely, I want to win. All right, I'm going to win this 3-minute segment right here. Here we go. Or are you ready to go?
He is ready.
Okay, give me a thumbs up. And I'm going to believe the way we do this is I'll read the first question. And after I finish reading the first question, the 3-minute timer starts. Well, let me see. Let me look at this. Let me look at this here. All right, 3-minute timer. Where are you? There you are. I got you. You know, no thing for me. So here we go. First question comes from Leonard. Leonard wants to know, will this unit announce incoming calls? He's referring to the Voyager 5200 UC. And the answer is yes, Leonard. It will announce the incoming calls so long as you have that in your phone book. So you have a contact in your phone book. It will say incoming call. You'll hear that word incoming call from Dave. And you can decide to take the call or not take the call. So yes, it will announce that. Thank you for that question. Next question. What is the bonus? Just a wall charger. So in the case of the 5200 UC, on our listings on Amazon, we do provide a bonus charger that is not provided with the 5200. So you get the charging case, but no brick or charging device. We actually sell a set. We actually bundle the bonus charger that will charge. So an actual brick to charge this guy or the headset that's inside. So thanks for that question. That was from Michael. Next one. Is it comfortable to wear for people with glasses with the over-the-ear design? So I have some glasses to show you. I do use glasses, and I have used the 5200 with it. And what I still will use it with and without my glasses. Now, what you will find is that the positioning of your ear tip and relative to the pressure on your ear glasses may be a little bit different. You may have bigger ears than me. I have really small ears. So I don't find any issue with it, given what you get with this 5200. Again, glasses or no glasses, it's still the most comfortable over-the-ear design that I have found to date. So thank you. And that question was from R. Green. Thank you, R. Green. Next question. Can you compose a text by speaking to Siri and saying what you want the text to say, and then say it, then send the text by sending text through the headset? Whoa, that's a tough one. I'm going to translate that a little bit. I think you mean if you could use voice controls like Siri. So the answer is yes. You can use the 5200 to use with Siri, and you can initiate it. You will initiate it with the press of a button on the Plantronics. You have a multifunction button on the back. You press that multifunction button, you'll be able to prompt Siri to come up to the screen, and you can then say what you want to say in order for Siri to do the command or whatever that you want her to say. So yes, the answer is yes, you can use Siri with that. That question came from Anonymous. Next question. Is it compatible with Microsoft Teams? The answer is 100% yes. It works with Microsoft Teams. Thanks, Ramesh, for sending that in. I'm running out of time. Let's get a funny question. Will you ship the 5200 Voyager to Starfleet Command? This is a real question, Dave. Will you ship? I'm going to still read it. And this is from Anonymous. He wants to know, get this, Dave. Will you ship this Voyager 5200 to Starfleet Command in care lieu of the Federation? What? Come on, man. Or gal. Here's the answer. When Amazon starts sending stuff into outer space, we will send it because Prime will deliver it. I am sure, that Jeff Bezos he's got his own spaceship program. If it becomes a Prime program where you don't have to pay $100,000 to get people out in space and they're taking packages to the moon, it'll get there. So the answer is maybe.
The answer is maybe, but Rolando, before we ever need to deliver to outer space, we'll be using drones to deliver products. And I'll tell you, it's something I've seen. I've seen some other e-commerce platforms use drones. Wasn't what I expected. It was more airplane style drone than a kind of a hovering drone. But a lot of the solutions that we sell, lightweight, personalized IT devices with great packaging, I'll tell you, these will be on those drones, dropping into a backyard near you.
Absolutely. I know that program is expanding for Amazon, their drone program. So look, I know they've been testing here in Virginia for quite some time. And I think they just announced that they're officially becoming part of the deal.
That's cool.
Okay, so that was a 3-minute rapid fire. I don't know why I can't hear Ori, but should we do another one?
Listen, before we jump into that 3-minute rapid fire was brought to you by Global Tech Worldwide, your technology experts, providing personalized office IT solutions for over 20 years. Again, Global Tech, 20 years in business. We're the folks that you need to be working with when it comes to these personalized IT devices.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you for that. Ori, let's do one more segment of rapid fire, because this is by far the most popular, and I see a bunch of questions here from customers, and we want to make sure we at least chop down into some of these questions here. Let me just look at. There's a lot here. Okay, I'm ready for that. Here we go. Round number 2 on the rapid fire on the Voyager 5200. Here we go. Is the battery replaceable? This question comes from, it's anonymous. Somebody submitted, but didn't put their name. The answer is yes. The battery, let me roll that back. The answer is no. I had two things in my head. The answer is no. You cannot replace. It's not field replaceable, but you can get the 5200 replaced. That's what I had in my head. So if it stops working, the battery only gets you 20 minutes instead of the 6 hours for whatever reason, you can get a replacement. It comes with a 2-year warranty. So you're good and covered.
So side note on that 2-year warranty, if you find during those 2 years that the battery's not holding its charge, you're not getting that 6 hours of talk time per full charge, contact the manufacturer and they'll have it replaced under warranty.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you. And next one, I purchased one of these. If I order a second one, will there be any issues between the two devices? And that's the answer is no. You will not have any issues if you have two of the Voyager 5200s near you. The problem would come if you had like 20, 30, 40 devices all placed in the same room. You will experience some crosstalk. So 2 devices, you're good to go. Next question. Actually, it's in Spanish. I'm going to translate. What is the range on the 5200 Voyager UC? The advertised range is about 100 feet or 33 meters. I, on the other hand, have what I call an effective range. I will say you will have an effective usage of around 33 feet based on your environment. And beyond that, it really depends. Do you have line of sight from the dongle to the PC, from the dongle to the device, or the device right into your mobile phone? Okay. Thanks for sending that question. Next, does I already did that one. Let me skip. Does it work with the Samsung S10? The answer is yes. The Poly Voyager 5200 does work with the Samsung S10. Next one. Is it possible to connect to a phone or Mac or Windows device at the same time? So let me think about this. You can plug the dongle. You can plug the dongle into one, and that'll be a PC connection. Now, if you plug it into another one, you can only have one dongle. So that's the one thing. So you may be able to connect to one as a PC, the other one as an additional device, but that could get complicated if you'd use two PCs. Now, if you use phone, like a mobile phone and a PC, you have no problem. That's part of that multi-point technology, and you'll be able to answer either one. I'm gonna finish it. And you'll be able to answer the call, whether you're getting it on PC or you're getting on a mobile. It intelligently recognizes where the audio should be routed on your mobile or your PC. It's that simple.
And a footnote to that question.
Yes.
You can have multiple pairings, but it's not a simultaneous connection. The product needs to decide what it's going to be fully paired to. It's not you don't have the ability to pair it to a computer and a phone and
have two active conversations at the same time.
Live.
Yeah, you can't
Correct.
do that. That's
Correct.
right. Yeah. People want to do that. You can't do that on, I can't think of a Bluetooth device now, Dave. I'm thinking about all of them. None of them that I'm aware of can do essentially audio from two sources simultaneously so that you can speak into both devices at the same time from one device.
I don't think anyone can do it. I believe it's a limitation to how the Bluetooth standard works. It's dropping and holding an audio path, and technically, I don't think it's even possible right now.
Agreed. Indeed. 100%, Dave. Let's roll on into the next stuff that we've got here regarding our dark horses. Dark horses.
Katy Perry.
What was that?
I said Katy Perry.
Isn't
that her song?
I think so, Dave. Maybe somebody in our audience knows. I know of Katy Perry, but I don't know of all her songs. Like, I don't know the names. So forgive me, Katy Perry, for not knowing all your songs. Although you're a very good artist, I don't know all your songs. All right. One of the two dark horses that we have for today is the Yealink BH72/76. So they have two different models. I've got them both on my desk. Let me move my glasses out of the way. Let's get that up here. So this is the BH72. Now the BH72 comes in a couple of different models. It comes with the charging stand and without the charging stand. They have what's called the light version, and that one does not have the wireless charging capability in it. As you can see on the box, it does say Microsoft Teams certified.
There
so
it
you
is.
can see the logo there for Microsoft Teams. Now, I happen to have the version that comes with the charging stand. I don't know why anybody would buy it without the charging stand, given how really cool it is, and because it's a wireless charging stand. So let me show you that in the box. You get this nice handy little user guide. You get this soft carry bag. You get the power supply to charge up to put in the charging stand. Okay, let me show you what that is here. Okay, so you get that, and you get a really nice headset. I got to say, Dave, Yealink is really doing some really cool things with their devices. And the way they built this is really interesting. It's very comfortable. Let me show you how much it flexes. They've got padding underneath in the headband. Okay. And they've got a couple of features. I'm going to save that for some of our hero stuff, but it's a well-built headset. I would say for in terms of usage for users that are looking for new headphones, I would say these do the really good job of having conversations, because now it's got a retractable boom. This is something that most headphones don't have. I like what they've done here, Dave. It's very well polished. They're fairly comfortable to wear. You're getting really good audio, and surprise. I mean, again, for the headset market, because it's not a small market and it's a very mature market. For somebody to come in like Yealink and put a product together that's not just another Me Too, it's really interesting, which shows how much they've put into resources into trying to make a differentiator between themselves and the other products on the market. They're one of the few that have this wireless charging capability. So all you do is put this guy down, and now all of a sudden you have a wireless charger. I'm going to assume that you got to put in this plug, okay, and it will charge your headset.
That's cool.
Here's the best part, Dave. If you have another wireless charging device, I almost reached for it. I can't put that one on air yet. Let's just suppose you have another charging device. If the charging case were wireless, which this is the 5200, which obviously does not have wireless charging, but just for the purpose of the exercise, you laid it down, it would light up green and show you that you have a wireless device connected. It goes green and it will charge the device.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. So it goes beyond just charging the headset itself.
Absolutely. If you wanted to charge your cell phone, and as long as your mobile phone has wireless charging capability, it will also charge your cell phone. You The other cool thing about having a charging stand, or this doubles as a stand. So you can have your headset in a nice little comfortable place where it just sits there instead of just kind of cluttered on your desk. So you have somewhere where to put it. It's out of the way. And then if you want to have your phone on top and you want to charge it while you're not using your headset, or even if you were using your headset, put it on, you can just have your mobile phone just laying here and it will charge it wirelessly as long as your mobile phone supports wireless charging. Super, super cool. I don't know about you, Dave. If you've used other wireless charging devices, I find that just amazing. Amazing to just have a wireless. No need to fiddle around for a plug. Most headsets, whether they're Bluetooth, let me just think about this so I don't eat my words. Most headsets will require you to put it in something, either plug it in USB or a docking station, or like what we showed you earlier with the 5200. You got to put it into something, right? And that was the problem that the 5200 was having earlier in version 1. Let's call it version 1. It was getting an inconsistent connection to the Bluetooth device. Well, Yealink went beyond that and said, screw that. Let's go wireless charging. All you do is drop it down. There you go.
Rolando, I have a question. So is that your only option for charging, is wirelessly?
You could do wireless, or you could also do USB. So I'm going to bring this up here. Do you see the USB? This one is USB-C.
Yeah, I can kind of.
Let me hold on.
Wow. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Oh my! I'm getting a call while I'm on.
So USB-C. So if you want to do a physical connection, you can.
Yep. Let me just turn this call off. Okay, I thought I had.
This is live.
Yeah,
this is live. We never know what's going to happen when it's live.
No.
And listen, there is one other headset out there on the market. I think it's a Jabra product, a Vault 285, that has wireless charging. It's an accessory and it's available. I'll tell you, I got a new phone and I have a new monitor that actually has a built-in wireless charging stand. I was definitely one of those people that was always just making sure I had a charging cable handy. And now I don't have to be that person. When I'm in my office, I don't need a charging cable. Granted, I got a new phone, so the battery life is much better. But the wireless charging stand that I have, that's part of my my video setup here, is It's really cool. I feel like it's simple new technology, but I really like it.
It's just one of those little things, everybody says how little things make a huge difference. Like there's one less cable I need to look. There's one less thing I have to plug in somewhere. There's one less thing, especially if you have if you get it with the charging stand. So it's sold without the charging stand as well. You get the stand. That's just one less thing for your brain to think about. And all of those things, if you're really into like the behavioral sciences and whatnot, the less you have to think about, the less frustrating something is, no matter what you're doing. If you could just start doing it without all the steps to get there, it makes it so that becomes the thing you want to do. So just like if you're exercising, if it takes 20 steps for you to, put on your shoes and you got to take it out of the box every time and you're not going to do it. Too many steps. You go into the gym, there's all these things, you're not going to do it. So shortcutting that and making it easier. If there's just one less thing to worry about, like no cables, I'm just going to put it in here. And I've used this, by the way, I've used this for 5 months, along with every device that you've seen here today. I've used it for an extended period of time. It just is one less thing in your day that you have to think about. And if you're like me, you're a busy professional. If there's one thing you could just not have to think about and focus your attention on something else, that makes your day that much easier. I can just put it right here at the end of the day. If I've used it all day long, when I come back in the morning, boop, pop it on, full charge, right? I don't have to worry about it. And I know it's charging because the light will turn on. And then boop, if I go to lunch or something, I just put it right there. I'm good to go. The other thing, we could jump into the heroes. The hero features for this product, Ori. Otherwise, I'll just keep on talking about how good this headset was. Now, let me tell you what I found over the last 5 months using the Yealink BH72 and the 76. On the 76, first of all, you're going to get active noise canceling. That's something that's not available on the 72. So if you want this product with active noise canceling, you want the 76. Otherwise, the 72 works just fine. So the very first thing I got to tell you on either one. So I have the 76 and I have the 72, both here. 76 is a little bigger, got bigger ear cups. 72 and 76 are very comfortable. Both of them are very comfortable. You just jumped the gun, Mr. Ori, but we'll get there. 72 and 76 are both very comfortable. The design, the ear cushions, they're both very comfortable when it comes to using them. Dave, one of the most frustrating things when you have a product, it could be this one or any other one, is the comfort, because if your ears feel uncomfortable, it's too much pressure, it feels uncomfortable. If it doesn't stay on your head properly, it doesn't work with your glasses. All of that leads to frustration, and that's the last thing you want. And I found these to be very frustration-free from that standpoint, and just very comfortable to use. The next thing, the innovative retractable boom. That's available on both the BH72 and the 76. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, Ori, thanks for the tabletop. So that's what it looks like extended, and that's retracted. So a lot of people, they want a classy, elegant looking pair of headphones that they could use, but they don't like that boom in the way, Dave. Right. They want a headphones kind of look. So if you want a pure headphones kind of look, that's what you're getting here with the 72. And with the 76, you get the same thing. 76 has the same form factor, the same layout with the retractable boom. Okay.
This goes back to what, we talk a lot about work-life blend, not work-life balance, work-life blend. What's your work fit, and I got to say, that's like going from work mode to fun mode. And I always feel better, if I'm buying technology and I can justify the price by saying, listen, it's going to help me during my job and it's going to help me have fun. It's like, all right, well, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck there. I love that retractable boom. I absolutely love it. Different brands do something different to try to give that option. Either they go straight up, no boom microphone, so it's the kind of invisible microphone array somewhere within, the design. Sometimes they go that route. Right. Sometimes they'll do kind of a magnetic boom that will come up and kind of go out. But I really like how this is telescoping in and out. Other brands have tried to do that with beta releases, and they've moved away from that design. I remember there was an Office wireless headset that had a little notch that you could, in the beta, would go in or go out. And it was great on paper, but it didn't really work. So I love the fact that, we got a new player in town. They have phenomenal technology, really cool design. And here now they're giving you a headset that you can use for work or for play. So very cool.
It is very cool. So that's again, one of the things that makes them unique when it comes to delivering this product on the market. Now, Ori, give me back those. There we go. The retractable boom, check. Wireless charging. Like I said earlier, this is one of those things that makes life easier. I am all about trying to make my life easier. Everybody lives complicated, complex, busy, hectic, on the go, running and gunning. You want one less thing, just one itty less small thing to make your life easier. That wireless charging, you just pop that bad boy right on here, stick it on there. Now you've got your headphones being charged while you sleep. If you go to sleep or you come between your office and you're going back and forth, it's just there. It's done. No wires. It's just done. Easy. Hitting an easy button every single day. I love that. It's just phenomenal. Like I said, other devices may make you dock it where you have to physically put it in. It touches the pins, all that business. You don't have to do that. That's a thing of the past now. We'll have to see if more and more headsets come out with that feature.
And what you just taught me today is that it will also charge other devices that have wireless charging capabilities. So very cool.
So other devices, that is where I would give it 2-3 checks. Ding, 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 because of that. So kudos to Yealink for that. Audio quality on it, you're not giving anything up, Dave. This holds up to the more expensive devices. When it comes to audio, I've used it listening to podcasts on YouTube. I've listened to audio podcasts as well. And I find that the audio is right up there with some of the more expensive headsets that they're competing against.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If we're talking about like Bang & Olufsen and all these really super high end, that's for the audiophile. This is not made for you. This is made for that person that needs quality headphones that also will work on other applications. You want to use it for conversation? Check. You want to use it with your business apps? Check. You want to use it with your Zoom calls? Check. You want to use it with Microsoft Teams? Check. You want to use it with your PC and your mobile device? Check. That's what this is made for. Not Bang & Olufsen, which are awesome headsets, but I should say headphones. But that's a whole different level that's like comparing this microphone to the microphone on here. Two totally different kind of microphones, right? So office worker, somebody that wants better audio when their conversation is happening on Zoom or anywhere else or on their phone, this will do the job. Last thing, for all of those features, Dave, this has a really competitive price, really going after. They're really, they're new, but they're not rookies when it comes to technology. And they understand that IT teams, larger organizations, they're motivated by price. Like all of those features are great, but at the end of the day, especially large organizations that have to manage maybe hundreds of these, they're going to say, hey, what's the bottom line? And when it comes to bottom line, they're the price point on this is very competitive against the Jabra, against the Poly, against EPOS, all also very good brands. But that is one of those things for the features. You're getting a lot of bang for the buck. Otherwise, you probably would normally see this price much higher, like some of the competitors that they have. Dave, anything you wanted to add on those superpowers?
You know what? You use this product to join a lot of our meetings. I don't have this in my stable of headsets over here, and I just want to say, every time you've used it, it's always sounded great on the other end. So I know that sometimes you're in quiet environments, sometimes you're in wild environments. But listen, it hasn't stopped the ability to communicate and collaborate and get things done. I think it's a winner.
No, it is. And I'll just want to show our audience the 76, just for comparison sake. This is on this shot. This one here is the 72, and this one here is the 76. The 76, this one right here, that one's going to have active noise canceling. So if you want to really, like, you know, drown the world away and make sure that, you know, that world is not interrupting your listening of your favorite podcast, 76 is your choice. If that's not important to you, you want to save some bucks, a couple of dollars, the 72 would be the version that you would want to get. And they come in black and gray. A lot of people like the black, so that's why we're showing today the black.
You know what, Rolando, you made me remember a funny part of a movie this weekend. So, you know, we're coming off the tail end of Thanksgiving. We had a couple of days off, had some late nights hanging out with family, watching old classic movies, or, you know, movies that are just kind of nostalgic to taking some time off. And Hangover Part 3 was on. And it is the funniest scene in cinema that I have seen forever.
Which part of Hangover?
Where Alan, the delinquent son, Alan, who's played by, oh my goodness,
is that Zach Galifianakis?
Zach, yes,
yep.
Zach Galifianakis. His father his father is telling him that he needs to change and that he's basically a burden on the family. And Alan goes over to the couch and he puts on noise canceling headphones and he looks at the TV. And he's listening to Billy Joel, Go Ahead With Your Life, Leave Me Alone. I don't know the name of the title of the song, but his ear, so he's zoning out, and his father is having a heart attack behind him. and his dad passes away, and the noise cancellation drowned the whole thing out. And it's dark humor, but it was just such a funny part. And when he put the headphones
you do have
on,
dark humor. You're known for the comedic antics on our conference calls. So yes, you would like that part of that trilogy.
Well, it is a comedy. It is a comedy, but it's just funny and actually can be somewhat scary. I had an incident once where I was wearing noise canceling headphones. I forgot I put tea water on. Luckily, I have a dog. My dog's ears go up, and I kind of look over at my dog, and I take my headphones off, and I'm hearing the whistling of my tea kettle. Luckily, I had a dog that alerted me of that because something could have happened. And that anyway,
right.
Be careful. Use safely. Be aware of your surroundings if you need to.
Okay, so you bring up an important point on the 76, the active noise. There's 3 modes of active noise canceling, yes. So there's active noise canceling. It will block out the whole world, right? The second one is where it is listening to the outside world at the same time. So if that tea kettle is going on, you put it on in that mode, and it's got a built-in microphone right in here, and that's listening to the outside world at the same time. So now if you're listening for your teapot, we're using this at home, and you have kids and you want to make sure they're not into mischief, or they don't go ahead and kill each other. You have a couple of kids, if you have little ones, how much mischief they can get into. It allows you to listen into that if you need that. So that's got that mode. You're walking around New York City or some big city. I used this not too long ago, and an ambulance was coming, and not that you cannot hear the ambulance on active noise, but it's really muted. And so if you've got other cues and signals and other things that you have to pay attention to, you want to activate that mode so it's listening to the outside world, so that you're not completely unaware of what's going on. And then it's got an off mode, so none of it is on, and it's just passive noise canceling, which means none of the electronics are on to block that noise, either from a listening or the active noise canceling that's piping in through the headphones. It's just a passive, and it's just sitting on your ears, and all you have is just the protection of the ear cups or ear cushions that are on there.
So, Rolando, you hit us with the superpowers. Were you able to find any kryptonites?
Oh, but of course. There you go, kryptonite. All right, kryptonite. We haven't found a name for you. Oh, kryptonite. Every pair of electronics, like I said, they've got their downside, their dark side. And this one is no exception. And it's a struggle here, Dave, on this one, because they are so comfortable, both the 76 and 72. But one of the things that I found in my 5 months of using them is that I am the type of person, well, I'm going to sit here at this chair, but I'm going to get up and, go see the little one. I'm going up and down the steps. I may reach down to grab for a box, and, the Amazon guy comes and I go down and reach for and so it has a tendency, and I don't have a big noggin. So this is the disclaimer here. I have a small head, as big as it may look on camera. I have a small head. All right. And so if you're actively moving, bobbing, weaving, and it will have a tendency to start sliding on your head. Now, if you have a noggin, I know, Dave, you've tried some of these products, with a self-proclaimed big noggin. You could probably get away with that and not even notice that. But if you're like me and you have a small noggin, I have a smaller head, those type of things, even when you ratchet it all the way to this tightest setting. So now let me just show you. It will telescope so that you can give it a little bit more comfort if you have a bigger noggin, as well as a smaller one. So it'll make it tighter. Even on this tightest setting for me, I noticed that if I'm moving around and bobbing and weaving and, trying to go after my little one and pick something up, it may have a tendency to slide down. And that's the trade-off you do when you're doing comfortable headsets, because the one complaint, Dave, and you know this, the complaint when it comes to comfort is that it's too tight on my head, right?
Yep.
That's the other side of the spectrum. People say it's too tight. And that's A, because you do have a big melon head, or B, and there's other products that we sell where they are literally hard to move. They're made to stay on your head because you're more active in the type of duty or role or your responsibilities, and you need something that is just not going to slip off. This is not that. It's made for comfort. So I would compare this to like a 747 jet. It's made for comfort. Smooth sailing. It's not a fighter plane where it's you're top gunning left and right. You're moving and it is not that. This is made for comfort. And because of that, the trade-off is that if you have a small noggin like me, it might slide off your head if you're really active in terms of what you're doing. That's the kryptonite, Dave.
Hey, you had to find something. You definitely had to find something. And you know what? The design, it's not really for, it's not a workout gear type headset.
No.
If you're going up and down and, something like that might slide off. But again, you get a ton of bang for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
You have the options to have with or without noise cancellation.
Mm-hmm.
The charging stand, the different colors, the retractable microphone, the integration with Zoom and Teams. I'll tell you, all far outweighs the fact that it may slide off your head if you are bouncing around. So,
Indeed,
again,
Dave. Indeed.
It's a great product.
No, I find that is a very good product. It's hard to pick. And the best advice that I would have for folks that are trying to decide, what should I wear when I'm using a headset? I'm looking for a new one. You got to start, Dave, with what do I do? If I'm more desk bound, something like the Yealink BH72 and 76, those type of headphones will work just fine. If you're more of a road warrior, like we talked about earlier, something like the Plantronics 5200 UC, that works better for you. Or I should say, it'll fit the role of what you're doing. So there are thousands of headsets and headphones on the market today. They're not all made the same. They're really calibrated for the type of duty and tasks. So if you're really moving about, you need that PC to mobile connectivity because you're in the car, you're in your home office, that kind of thing, something like this. If you're really more desk centric, you want to listen to your podcast, you want to listen to music, you want to listen to with coverage on both ears, this is the way to go. Something like the Yealink headphones. You know what I want to jump into? I want to go the rapid fire for the Yealink. We've got some questions queued up. Ori, I'll let you cue that up for another 3 minutes. Rapid fire segment. Let me see. Get a little sip here. My tea just got cold. It's now turned into ice brewed tea. All right. So here we go. Let me just cue myself up here. I'm ready. 3-minute clock. First question. What does retractable microphone boom mean? Well, simple enough. The retractable boom means that on this Yealink, both the BH72 and 76, the boom goes up, or I should say in, and goes out. It will mute and unmute as well. So when you're using that, it can turn on the call, turn it off, it can mute and unmute. So you want to check also the settings on it, and you can do that with the Yealink Connect app, and it will customize those settings for you. Thanks for that question. What's the difference between the BH72 headset and the Lite version? Simple enough on that one. So the BH72 Lite does not have the wireless charging capability. The BH72 does. So if you want that wireless charging, you want to get just the regular version. Otherwise, it'll just come like this without the charging stand and no wireless capability. Okay, wonderful question. Next, how do we enable the Bluetooth pairing mode on this headset and connect it to Bluetooth devices? Okay, so here, what I would recommend is using the button, the straightforward way. There's a power button that's on here. And on that button, as it's turning on, you want to keep your finger on the power button, which is right here. And as you get it, you're going to hear pairing mode, and it will start searching for the device. You look for the Yealink device that's in your Bluetooth phone, and you'll see a BH72 or BH76. Thanks for that question. Next question. We don't know. We answered that one already. Can I use the BH72 while it's charging? Yes, you can use it while it's charging. And by the way, what you can also do is you can use the USB cable. So this is a USB charging device. You can connect it into your PC if you're using it with your PC, and it could charge, and you could use it at the same time. So yes, you can do that. Answered that one already. Does this work well? This question comes from Maud. Maud wants to know, does this work well with Skype? So the answer is yes, Maud. This works well with Skype. It's a good all-around pair of headphones with that microphone boom out. You can use it with Skype. You can use it with Microsoft Teams. You can use it with virtually any app. Use it with Zoom. Use it obviously with any of the telephones, iOS or Android. So thanks for that question, Maud. Next question. I'm doing good on time. Is this suitable? Is this suitable for Microsoft Teams users? Yes, it is. Agnes, you can use this with Microsoft Teams. It's right on the box. It says Microsoft certified. So you could use it with Teams, use the integration with Microsoft Teams, which makes it so much easier. Hitting the mute. Pow! Look at that 000. I'll finish with Agnes. So you could use the integration that it has with Microsoft Teams. Let me grab that box. You can see what that looks like. Right on the box, it says Microsoft Teams. Ooh, my box is kind of beat up because I've had it for a while. But it is out of the box, ready to use with Microsoft Teams. Something to also note about Microsoft Teams. The behavior of the app on the mobile and the PC app are two very different types of things. So the integration that I'm talking about, and that almost every manufacturer, doesn't matter if it's Yealink or otherwise, they're all talking about the PC app integration. And important to note, you need to use the Bluetooth dongle with the Yealink BH72 and 76 for that integration to work. You do not want to connect it natively from your Yealink BH72 into the laptop or the PC without the dongle. You will not get the integrated features for Microsoft Teams, because the Microsoft Teams certification is dependent. Let me, if I can grab the Yealink dongle. The Microsoft Link certification that comes with actually all the devices that are Bluetooth headphones and headsets are based on this dongle, or the appropriate dongle for the device. And that's what gives you the Microsoft Team capability to mute and answer and to allow the app to come forward. So just want to make sure you understand that. Make sure you use the dongle. All right, Dave, we did our 3-minute on Yealink. What else do we have?
I'm not sure. I really like the 3-minute segment. Listen, that 3-minute rapid fire was brought to you by Global Tech Worldwide, providing personalized IT devices and solutions for over 20 years. Had to throw that in there again.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, yes, 4300. Let's go right into the heroes of the 4300.
All right, who makes the 4300? This is the Poly 4300 series.
Yes, indeed. Let me grab that box over here. Pow. 4300 is brought to you by Poly, also known as HP. Now, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see an empty box, and I'm going to show you why. In the box, I have been using the 4320. In this case, a 40. Yep, they come in the 20, 4320, 4310. So I would normally show you a bunch of product in. It's actually sitting over here on the side of my desk, and I'm going to pull it out of the stand. And that alone should tell you something. All right. The 4300, it would normally sit in there. It comes with a dongle. It comes with in this case, it comes with a stand. I always opt for the stand. It just makes life easier. I don't have to guess. I don't have to use the cable. That's going to, if you use the cable, this one can also be powered up by the USB. It's going to, over I don't know how many thousands of uses of in and out, you'll degrade that connection. That happens with all devices where you're really plugging something in constantly. So I opt for the stand because it doesn't rely on that pin inside the USB. It's actually got some pins. Let's see if there it is. There's the pins out. That's with the stand. It charges that way. All right. So I've been using this guy for about 5 months too, and it's been sitting on my desk. That's why I've got the stand over there on the side. There's a lot to like here from a hero perspective. So the first thing that you want to know is, who's this for? So I'm going to jump into superpowers. So just leave the superpowers up, Ori. First thing you want to know is, who's this for? This is, again, for somebody that is more desk centric. I have taken this out and I've used it walking around. I've used it outside, walking my dog. I've used it in other places. I find it performs best if you're somebody that's in an office or an office user. All the features that are available to you will work just fine. But in the office, it's where it really shines. So the first thing that you want to know is the superpowers. So on the superpowers, it has excellent voice pickup. So your voice will be heard the way it's supposed to be heard. It will block out noises around you as well. And so it's really good voice pickup. Number 2, multi-point technology. What we've been talking about today is that multi-point technology allows you to use it with your PC or your mobile. And if you're somebody like most people today, you want a headset that works well in both. And Dave, one of the things that I find is that not a lot of companies do really well when it comes to multi-point technology. And because Poly has been one of the leaders and been doing this for quite some time, their multi-point technology works really well. And because of that, that's why I have it on my desk. It does the job of, having to be on your mobile and having to be on your PC very well. And I'm on back and forth between my mobile and my PC. And I love it.
It does it by itself. I don't even know how it does it. Someone's like, well, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I just plug it in and it just works. I pair it to the dongle, I pair it to my cell phone, and it just does it. Whatever I decide to use, I never even have to touch the headset. I can literally be on a cell phone call with this headset,
Right.
and end my phone call, jump on a Teams or a Zoom meeting. I don't hit anything on the headset. I go to my meeting on Zoom. I have my camera on. The headset automatically goes over to that. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm done with the meeting, if someone calls and it's going to my cell phone, it automatically rings. So like it going between the different devices it's so simple.
It works. It just works. It works. And that's the downfall of some of the other. There's others, and won't say which ones, but there's others that say and that are way cheaper. I'm thinking of like the really cheapo $50-$60 devices that say they could do multi-point. They don't do it well at all. And with some of the other devices, by the way, Dave, when you're using multi-point, you may have to pair and unpair to get, now I'm on my mobile and now I'm on my PC. Right. This, you don't need to do any of that. It knows you're on your mobile and you're getting a call. You're on your PC and you're using Teams. You're okay. I'm talking through Teams.
Yeah. So seamless.
It's seamless. It just works. So that's one of those things. Check. If you are one of those people, PC and mobile is your deal. This is the headset for you. The other thing tied to that is the Poly app. So Poly, which is Plantronics, they have a very robust app, and that app allows you to control and customize the experience and the behaviors of the notifications and incoming call and all that. You want to take advantage of that. This will just take the headset experience to another level versus just using it out of the box. So take advantage of that. You also get free upgrades with the Poly Lens app. The app is free. So make sure you put that on your computer, use it. It will also upgrade your dongle if you need to, because sometimes from going from Windows 10 to Windows 11 or a new Mac version on your MacBook, you may get some hiccups, and then it just means you need to update the dongle. And with the Poly Lens app, it does that very easily for you. All right. One other good superhero power. So you can see these are really big speakers, right? They're nice and big and round speakers. So you're going to get good audio into the headphones. Let me see if I can put it on our superhero. Let me try. Oof. Here you go. Here you go, superhero. Talk into those things there. Huh? There it is. You're going to get good audio. So I've been using it for 5 months. I have not had any problem. One of the things that over the years, Dave, that you and I both know is that it's important. It is huge to completely hear what people are telling you. And when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I want to understand every single syllable, not every word, but syllable, because if then I can respond to that, a deal or a customer or even troubleshooting something. If they don't have to repeat themselves and I can hear every single syllable, the frustration level that somebody starts off with when they call you and they have a problem is on 12 out of 10. And you're bringing it down moment by moment. I hear you. Yep, I got you. You can bring that in. But imagine if your TV didn't work. Your car went kaput and you're calling a customer service shop or customer service or a desk help or support person, and they're in some far-flung part of the world or even here domestically in the US. It sucks when you got to be like, I just told you. I just told you what my problem is, right? And you're going over and over repeating things. It's just so frustrating. So if you work with folks in your office or you're responsible, you're a manager, you're an office manager, You want to get sure your people are on it. You want something that gives them the right audio when they're talking to customers. This is definitely the way to go. Definitely the way I would go. I've been using it. I can't find anything to complain about in terms of it from an audio perspective. So great sound.
Hey, listen, just to add on to that, if you have a team of people that are now using the Voyager 4300 series, you know, over both ears, it's comfortable. If they can hear their customers better, and if they're not hearing background noise, that customer service rep will tend to speak a little bit lower. They won't feel they won't need to project their voice as much. So if you can take a room of people and bring down everyone's volume just a notch or two, it's going to make a much better experience for obviously the people that are inside the call center, but also the customer on the other end. No one wants to feel like they're being yelled at. And the customer on the other end, if they don't hear that volume, it shows a level of professionalism that some people neglect. Some people just neglect it. So it's a good product, and I've seen it when it's deployed to a team of people that are all now hearing better. They're all talking lower, and it's a better experience for everyone.
And especially, right before the pandemic, the big rage was the open floor plan.
Oh,
and that's changing now with office spaces really changing their entire configuration. But open, and still a lot of places haven't done that, but open floor plan where there are no more cubicle walls and everybody's seeing everybody, that noise just carries. And if all you need is you don't need 50 or 100 people. You just need 5 people in a room.
Sure.
That in an open concept plan, and it gets loud because everybody perceives that the person they're talking to is not able to hear them because they can't hear themselves.
True.
When they talk to the customer. Dave, there's something I did and you reminded me of. If you have a headset, let's assume it's not this one, but if you have a headset and you're doing this because you can't hear well, or you're covering one side of your ear, it's one ear, and you're doing this, and you're not as effective. You're not very efficient. If you're having to type and hold and I've seen this, we've gone to call centers where I've walked in and I see this and somebody typing because they can't hear. If you see this in your call center or you see this at work, they don't have the right equipment. And I want to let you know that you're not doing a service to your employees or colleagues if they're doing this, or this while they're talking. That just means they cannot hear. The room is too loud, or the equipment is not the right equipment for them. And that there are solutions that can help them be efficient so that they can hear, they can talk, and type at the same time. So I just wanted to point that out, Dave, because I've seen that in a lot of call centers and offices that I've walked into, and whether it's a receptionist or a help desk support people. And it really you don't have to be that way. You don't have to have one hand on your ear and the other one on the keyboard. It just bugs me because there's stuff that can help them. And then, now once they know, obviously they can fix it and do something about it, but you don't have to be that company or be that person that's struggling to work because the environment around you is really bugging you and you can't hear the person on the other side.
And for someone that's trying to sell headsets, back in the day when we would walk into a call center, if you were able to see that was your silver bullet. You didn't point it out right away. You just kind of had it in your back pocket because that was going to come up. If you're doing this and doing this, you're no longer hands-free, so you don't have the ability to be as effective or multitasking, and you just know it's a bad experience all around. It's either not comfortable or it's just too darn loud in there.
It is indeed. All of these stuffs could be are remedied with the right gear, and like we said earlier, there's thousands of these types of headsets on the market, from very inexpensive to stuff that's costs a couple $100. It's about getting the right one for you. This may not be right for everybody, but something like the 5200 may be right for somebody, or vice versa. This may not be right for the person that's in and out of their office or in a car all the time. So go ahead.
So with the hero features, Rolando, you got to point out some kryptonite. So what is it with this one?
oh, you kryptonite. Arr. You always get us. Arr. All right.
Is he a superhero? Is he a villain? Is he a pirate?
I think he's a villain. Rolando? He's a villainous pirate. Arr.
Wow.
Like in one of those Johnny Depp movies. He's right. Barbosa. Is Barbosa a hero or a villain? Because he's looks like he's played both sides, right?
You know what? I don't even know.
Barbosa? Well, Barbosa played both sides. I don't know. He's more villain than he was. Geez, I can't remember the name of the actor, but he had a big long hat, beard. But anyways, Barbosa. Hey, so look, the thing that I found when I used the 4300s. Again, you're gonna get good sound. You get big ear cushions. But for me, when I use this for a couple of hours, my ear tips started bothering me. All right. And some people have more sensitive ears than others. And if you use this for, let's say, 2 or 3 hours straight, and that's what I'm talking about. You plan on using it for 2 or 3 hours straight. At about 3 hours or so is when I'm feeling the pressure from the padding. So now the padding isn't super thick on this one compared to some of the other headset that we had, but it's comfortable. If you're going to talk for 20-30 minutes at a time, it's not going to bother you. But if you're talking about using this for 3 hours straight, that's where you may find maybe my ears the ear tips are getting a little bit of pressure, or it's a little bit warm, and that's the kryptonite. For a really long period of time, you may have to put it back in the charger, give it a break, go to lunch, do your thing, and then wearing it again. But that's the only thing I could find. If that's not you, and you do, maybe a conversation, you're on Zoom for a half hour, an hour, and then you pop it back in because you're not going to use the headset, you're going to be fine. But if you're maybe somebody that does what I do, or something like that, where you're burning up the Zoom phone line and Teams phone line, and I have muscled through the day with it. And what I tend to do is in between calls, if I'm using it, if I know I'm going to use it, I just put it right here on my neck, right in between calls. And now that also helps take that problem out of the equation. Because what happens is just the tips start getting a little hot. And when they start getting warm, and this is no matter what product you use, we have all kinds of products around me here. All of them will produce heat. All of them. It's just how long does it take for your ears to heat up, and how much cushioning is on that ear pad. And the more cushioning, the more buffer you have, the less you have, and the more likely your ears are touching the plastic that's inside of the speaker. So this one, right around the 3 hour mark. But if you're, like I said, then just stick it around your neck in between calls, you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to get it. But again, if it's continuous usage through the day, you may find that at around that mark, that's when you start experiencing, my ear tips are getting a little warm or a little uncomfortable.
Hey, Rolando,
that's the kryptonite.
Well,
and that's the Barbosa kryptonite.
At 3 hours in to start getting that heat and a little bit of discomfort, I'll tell you, I've been testing some products that we don't sell.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're describing at 3 hours is kind of what I'm starting to get on some other products in like 20 minutes. So yes, maybe we're calling it a kryptonite, but if you can have 3 hours of solid focus doing what you're doing, and then a couple, shoot, you deserve a 10-minute break. If you've been so take a break or just take.
You're saying I should take more breaks, Dave. That's what I hear you saying.
No. I don't. I can't have you taking any breaks. I'm not trying to encourage that.
You don't want me to take now. You don't want me to take breaks. What's up? Either take breaks or you don't want me to take breaks.
No, other people should take a break.
I
got work to do.
Other people.
Hey,
other people should take breaks. But yeah, just and by the way, so you can wear it around your neck, and I find, and I've seen you use this one as well too, Dave. Putting it on your neck is it's not a problem. I mean, it does stretch, and I don't have any problem wearing anything around my neck. So, but this is comfortable. It does. The ear cups do rotate, Let me show you that. That's one thing that you get here. Now, a lot of other Bluetooth headphones and headsets, these ear cups are in a fixed position. And when they're in a fixed position, you really are going to run into problems.
Yeah.
And those are the lower end headphones. You cannot move them like this. And that really customizes that fit on your head, because not everybody, our heads are not a square box. Well, there you go, Dave. They're not a square box. So if they can rest on your head at an angle, depending on your head and the way it's shaped, you'll be way more comfortable, like you said, Dave, than if you had, headphones or headsets that do not pivot. You want pivoting ear cushions. Wait a minute. Let's get this pro tip. Numero 4. Come on, Ori. Let me get this on the pro tip.
Get ready for a pro tip.
Pro tip numero 4. Get a pair of headsets and headphones that have rotating and pivoting ear cups or ear cushions. This will make your life a lot easier, and it will help it stay more comfortable on your head throughout the day. So if you have the opportunity to get a new pair of headphones, or you're looking for a new pair of headphones, make sure you get ones that rotate like this and pivot. You'll thank me later. And that's pro tip numero 4. Dave.
Hey, where do we go from here? I'll tell you, that was a good show, Rolando. We showcased some pretty awesome products today, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. As our friend Shane would say, absolutely. So, we're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to do some Tech Tuesday stuff on tomorrow's broadcast. And if you want to follow us, go ahead and hit the like button. If this content has been something that you've enjoyed, or it's been helpful to you, or that you can pass on to colleagues, it's going to help them, we really appreciate that. And it also helps spread this video to other people on the platform that have similar questions and concerns. So we want to help people. Our mission here is to help you and your business sound and look amazing. So go ahead and hit the subscribe, get notified. A lot of platforms now require you to hit this little bell thing or activate it. Go ahead and hit that bell. And that way you'll know when we release new tidbits and nuggets, as we are releasing them constantly every single week. And sometimes there are tidbits that could help you a whole lot and probably save a bunch of frustration.
Hey, listen, I need to save some money. I have some shopping that I want to get done on Amazon. Cyber Monday deals are running out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump on and make sure I get something real special for you, Rolando. I got my eyes on something for you.
Oh, is that right? Cool,
Mm-hmm.
cool. I can't wait to see what it is. And if you want this also, Cyber Monday works. I can't wait to see what that little surprise is going to be. So I want to thank all of our audience that's joined us today. We've had folks on TikTok. So if you've been on TikTok watching us and you want more of this stuff, you could feel free to hop into our YouTube page. It's on the LinkedIn bio. You can watch all the content that we have, the long form, all the education, all of the different tutorials. That you'll find it on our LinkedIn bio page. Just go ahead, swipe. I think left. Is that left, right? Oh my God. One of those swipes, and go into our YouTube page and you'll find all of our wonderful videos. And if you have ideas, Dave, and just put this out there. If you have other ideas or questions, go ahead and send those in. We may feature it on an upcoming segment. All right. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you the next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And I'm going to say goodbye to our TikTok audience.